Good morning, folks. This is today's soap from Stirling Soap Company, 30 South Shavers 2017. And started out being about 5.8 ounces when I first got it. That's what the soap looks like on the inside. Firm, but yet it's fairly soft. You can put your finger into it. Good stuff. I've been shaving with Stirling this week. Got the alum block complete with rubber band. Day shave's going to be different. I got Stirling's unscented but mentholated witch hazel. Good stuff. Got the matching aftershave to go right along with the soap. And from time to time, I know most of the time I seem to forget, but I'm using Clubman's beard oil, and it comes in a 1 ounce container. And I got it. Got it whipped up here, and it's on the wet side. Drip, drip, drip. There we go. This soap's been really good this week. Not that it's not good any other week, but with this shaver here, this is the Rockwell 6C. This is chrome. Like the chrome. Today there's just a slight overhang right there. But today I'm going to be using different plates in my shave. Start out with a plate with 6, go to 5, and then I'm going to go to 4. My very first shave with this, forgot to take my watch off. My very first shave with the shaver was with plates 3, 2, and then 1 with a feather blade, with which was on its first use. Couldn't even tell that it was a feather blade. Very smooth, very comfortable shave. Wasn't necessarily the closest for my beard, but definitely a sociably acceptable shave. Face felt just wonderful after the shave. Really nice. Quite surprising. I mean, I used a feather blade and couldn't even tell that I was using a feather blade. It felt really nice. Then yesterday I used just the number 6 plate, and I used it for all 3 passes. Even though on the first pass, you kind of tell there's the blade, but by the time the second and third pass came around, I really didn't even notice it that much. Still a very comfortable, smooth shave, very close shave with that number 6 plate. If I wanted to go for a BBS, I only had just a little bit on the way of pickups, just a little bit, really not a whole lot. Very close, still very comfortable with a feather blade on its second use. Today, this is going to be a new feather blade, and we'll go with the progression. Now down below, I have the plate with the blade gaps, and I've mentioned this before. The plate, when you look at the plate gap, look at that plate gap difference in between the first plate I use and the last plate I use. The difference in between plates 3 and 1 is when you measure out take the millimeters and subtract the biggest number and then the smallest number. The difference is between plate 3 and 1 was 28 in the way of millimeters, and then the difference in between the plates 6 and 4 is only 18, if I remember right. Yes, 28 and 18. Yep, that's how it worked. At any rate, I got it down below if you want to take a peek at it. There's a big difference in that progression. So there was more of a noticeable difference, I guess you might say, with the 3, 2, and 1 than what I'm expecting with today's shave. Today's shave, I'm expecting there's going to be a difference, but not quite the difference that there was with those first 3 plates. And it's not necessarily a that first shave with the plates. I really couldn't tell. You could tell the difference, but it was such a mild shave that there was just a little bit of difference. I felt like that I could feel, that I could notice on my face between plate 3 and by the time I got to plate 1. Plate 1, I could tell there was a big difference, but on the other hand, plate 1 was still taking off enough of the whiskers on the against the grain pass that it worked rather well for me. In other words, you can kind of tell where folks are getting the word that this is a pretty good shaver, whether you're using the most aggressive blade or whether you're using the more mild ones, that you're still going to get a very smooth, comfortable shave. So you have yet to try a Rockwell. You might want to opt for the one with all the plates. Interchangeable plates, to me, it's the best way to go. In other words, you're kind of rolling the dice if you only get the one with only one plate, that you're, I guess you might say, running the risk you wish you had bought the other ones. Because the idea after shaving with this will be my third time shaving with it, that this shaver, oh, I should say it's not a lightweight. This shaver does weigh a wee bit. If you're looking at only having just a few shavers in your den, this one here would help assist in that. You can get different kinds of shaves with the same shaver. Whether or not you wanted to switch out the plates during your shave, or just use one plate throughout your entire shave. And then the next day you might want one that's not near as aggressive, or just got a few pickups, you know, use the number one plate before you go out on a special event in the evening, just doing a touch-up shave if you feel the need. I have to say, like I say, I can feel the blade, but it's just really, when it comes to aggressive feel, it doesn't feel that aggressive. It's just a little bit on the blade feel. I guess you might say I'm a little excited about this because this shaver, it's giving me some pretty good shaves. I'm just not too sure that when it comes to swapping out the plates, that for most people that this is going to be a bit of an issue. I can tell you that putting in the blade, swap the plates out here. There's number 5 there, if you can see that. Swapping out the plates, putting in the blade. I just put in the blade, put the handle, put it all together. Don't have to fiddle with the blade alignment. It's worked out pretty well for me. Every time I've done that, I've taken a quick look at it and it seems to line up just fine. So in other words, there's not a whole lot of fiddling with the blade in this particular 3-piece design. There's other 3-piece designs where the tolerances are more, and you always have to fiddle with the blade just a little bit, This one here, I have not had to do that. And the post on this particular one, the chrome is on the chrome plating is on the post, on the threads. So when you first start to put the handle on there, it's going to be a little tight or stiff, if you will. And after a few times of swapping the plates in and out, or taking it off, putting it on, it'll get smoother, not near as tight. Great smelling soap. Could not tell you what it smells like. And as far as I know, this soap hasn't been available through Stirling, I should say, in a while. So you'd have to find it on a buy-sell trade if you find somebody willing to give it up. This soap, once again, it's whipped up a little bit on the wet side, and you might consider this along the yogurt consistency, if you will. Works great. Pass number 2, plate 5, cross the green. the time it takes to swap out the plate, it's not that long, as you can kind of tell. It's just whether a person wants to go through that swapping out the plates on a, I guess you might say, a progressive type shave. I have ordered a case for it, Frugal Shave on Etsy. I'll try to remember to put the link down below. And he has a case where, you know, it has a case for all three of the plates, along with the head and the handle that fits in there. He uses a 3D printer. It's and you get to choose what color your plastic insert is. Very good shave. I'm going to switch out to plate 4 now. I mean, even right now, this next pass could be a pickup shave, because I only have, there's a little bit right there, some right here, and over here right there. There's really not much left already in between plates 6 and 5. It's just a, I guess you might say, a joy to shave with. So if you were to, you know, a person like me that's used to, I guess you might say, some aggressive shavers, if you were in a hurry, plate 6 might be the one you want to work with, because it doesn't leave much behind. So you can do a 2-pass shave and, you know, be on to your next task, I guess you might say, that morning getting around. The knurling on the handle, it is present. It is not so abrasive that, I guess you might say, excuse me, that it feels, doesn't feel comfortable on your fingers. It feels just fine. Like I say, it doesn't take that long. Quick check of the blade alignment. Like I say, every time it just seems to line up just perfect. I don't know if you can tell or not. There's number 4 there. Going against the grain with the plate number 4. And there's a little bit of feedback, especially right through there, which is kind of typical for my shaves, because that right through there grows at an odd angle. And it does kind of clean out pretty easy, depending on your, I guess you might say, how you whip up your lather. I'm trying to get something in this eye. Might take a little bit extra effort, but for the most part it cleans out just fine. I haven't had any clogging issues with it at all. That feedback right through there had a different, you can tell the feedback how different it grows right through there. I've used this past shave. I used the unscented methylated witch hazel from Stirling. It is just awesome. I guess you might say I'm a real fan of cooling effect type soaps, and having a witch hazel with menthol in it is just great. I like that cooling effect throughout the year. It doesn't matter whether it's summer or winter, it doesn't matter to me. I enjoy that cool effect on the face. To me, it's, I guess because of early on when I was first developing my technique, that would help calm my face down. Felt good afterwards, even though maybe I had a few weepers or something of the sort. Especially when I first started shaving with a Shave X. Yeah. Something that had a cooling effect sure did help my face out quite a bit. Because it took a few shaves before I got pretty decent at the technique where I didn't get those weepers and cuts. And now pretty much every once in a while I'll have them, but not very often. Boy, this shave feels pretty good. Face feels moisturized. There's plenty of slickness there too, still left over. That is one thing for me, that it seems like that if I whip up my lather on the wet side or moist, that it seems to be always pretty slick. And this soap has also, even though it's wet on the wet or moist side, still provides plenty of slickness. I have just a little bit of stinging down here on my neck. Nothing to indicate that I had a horrible shave by any means. Looking in the mirror, just a lot of, if you see any redness, it's kind of typical. Matter of fact, some of this redness, well, I'll start out with first thing. I noticed it yesterday morning over here. I can't remember which side it was, but it's not uncommon to wake up in the mornings and be red on one side or the other. Probably maybe that's how I slept. And it may be red, but it's not irritated or anything like that. I'll show you what the comes with the flip top, and you probably can see that's what that restrictor looks like. And so it's a fairly decent sized one, and it's filled to the top. So when you first pour it out, you want to be careful. And I mean, it is mentholated. My eyes can tell you. Feels great first thing. I mean, that cooling effect on your shave, after your shave, just makes your face feel so much better. And I have to say, if you haven't tried the wintergreen, I've got the wintergreen. Love it. The wintergreen, that cooling effect is a bit different than what it is with just like this with menthol. It has a different effect. I can't hardly describe it, but it is a much different effect. And I think one of these times may have to see if he's got this in wintergreen, because that cooling effect on wintergreen is just awesome, especially with the aftershave. It's just the whole face just lights up at the aftershave here. And this aftershave, I have to say, it is, at least when I pour it out in my hand, it comes out. I'll show you here in a moment. That was one of the things I thought was pretty funny, because I know most of us heard the saying, when pigs fly. And we have a pig with wings, and it comes out pink or a reddish color like the pig. That's how this comes out when pigs fly. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Not sure what all was behind that at the time, but for me, yeah, I like it. It's pigs with wings. I had a good shave. Had a great shave. Like I said, I got a little bit of stinging on the neck, but it's not any nicks or weepers or anything like that. Nothing to be concerned about as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of this is just normal for me. But even when I'm not shaving. Had a great shave. Like I say, I'll put the links down below for Stirling soaps as well as for the shaver. And I do have the blade gaps for plates 6, 5, and 3. I'll have a link for my blog if you want to check out what my thoughts were about the previous 2 shaves with this. And I'll shave with this one more time on video. And probably going to be using, I think I'm going to use plate 4 Thursday plate 4 for all 3 passes, and then on Friday I'll do a video with plate 5 and see if I really notice a big difference in between them, because that plate gap difference is just a little bit. It's not real big. At any rate, hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.